Previously on Building Fury. Then all we need is the same thing on the other side as well, and then we should be pretty much done with the actual gates. This is getting shape, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that looks beautiful. And for these flasks, we can make it look like they're filled using some half spheres. It adds just that extra flair of magic, which is exactly what we need. This is a very, very magical theme. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this brand new episode of Building Fury the Ride. Today we'll continue our journey of building this insane roller coaster, and I can finally reveal to you the very special thing about this project. I've been waiting for this moment for so long. I will tell you guys somewhere during this video, but now first let me just show you some stuff I built off screen. You may have noticed this just now, but right here in the center of this ginormous room I built this, which is kind of like a galaxy, like a star map. I thought it was kind of empty and boring in the center here, but this nicely spices it up. And it looks super cool with that in the corner as well. I love that wall. Then on top of that, I made a very short tunnel section on the front here. It's nothing special, just copy and pasted elements, but it looks nice. And that exact same thing I did at the back here as well. Looks pretty cool, especially when you're inside the coaster. Anyway, for today's building, let's get straight into it. What I would like to do today is work on this section right here for a little bit. My idea is for this to be a giant cave that the coaster enters from multiple angles. Basically this area and everything underneath the actual building I think would be nice as a cave. And I could also add some cool crystals and stuff. So let's get to work. You do know what this means, of course. We're gonna have to add a ton of rocks. But to be fair, we know how much you guys love seeing me suffer. So honestly, I've just given into it. It's fine. I'm honestly over it. I've just accepted the fact that this is my reality now. I'm not gonna lie though, I don't really have a solid idea yet, but I'm just kind of seeing where things go, as usual. I just don't really know what the surrounding area is gonna look like either, so honestly, it should be fine, we'll just see. That's kind of the most fun anyway, because that way it's much more surprising and organic. But then now for the texture, let's do something a bit brownish potentially? Maybe a tad more grayish. There you go, like this. That's a bit nicer, yeah. Besides, we can also add some variation in color later on, so we should be good. Just adding some more on the sides here. Anyway, this right here has to be some sort of archway that the coaster enters. Now don't let the thickness of the track fool you. This doesn't actually need to be as big as it seems. Then a bit further down, Aiden, the Boomerang family coaster, kind of passes through this tunnel as well. Now let's at least try planning out some stuff. Right here, there's gonna be a bit of a flat area with possibly some buildings on it, and that is something I want to have more of throughout this rock formation. Just some flatter areas that are filled with structures, maybe destroyed structures, anything. Look, and then around those we can just continue building these rocks. It all comes together. I mean, building completely directionless does seem a bit reckless, doesn't it? If something goes wrong, then you will have probably built a bunch of stuff for nothing. Right here, some more flat areas. Let's just do something like this. Seems nice. Once again, on top of that, we can just put some buildings, I think. This is all looking very wonky right now, but just trust me. So maybe I can trust myself too. As one can tell, right here, just now, I finished the corridor for this little piece of track. That actually looks quite nice already. It is getting some shape, if you will. I guess I'll just continue doing these rocks for a while and I'll see how far I can get. I wasn't actually planning on this video to be so rock heavy, but apparently it is, so deal with it, I guess.
2,000 years later.
Well guys, I made some rocks. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff over here. Actually, all the way up until this, I forgot that the copy and paste tool existed, so that is pretty great. Anyway, I put some rocks all over the sides. This of course isn't finished, but the building itself isn't finished, so it doesn't really matter. What matters is that now we can work on the inside a little bit without the roof being on top, because that's just gonna make everything a whole lot harder. I mostly want to focus on this bit right here. The only thing is, for that I first need to know where this Q bit goes. So let's say, what if this goes outside through these rocks here? Let me just try opening this up and see what happens. Look, and then this simply goes out here. Perfect. I just realized this does mean that I need to just cover the whole ground with rocks as well. What a fun video this. Well, let's get to it then. First, however, let's put water in here because that seems hella cool. Dude, this has crazy potential. Oh! I mean, we don't have to make everything completely custom. We can use some previously made sections. All we gotta do is just kind of fill in the gaps and make sure it all connects nicely. Underneath this, what is supposed to be a bridge at some point, let's add some really cool stone support kind of things, like a nice structure that kind of holds it in place. Something I would like to take care of now, by the way, is making sure this is all covered up. Essentially, this right here is where you go from the cave into the actual building behind it. And so we're gonna need these walls to make sure we can build those corridors later. Here you go, just simple. And then here I'm gonna build an archway that leads into a secondary area underneath this bit. So it's not just one ginormous hole. Fill in the gaps between these elements. And then honestly, we've done quite a big chunk of this cave already. Definitely went a lot faster than I thought it would, so that is very nice.
One eternity later.
This has taken about 25 times too long, but now at least it is finished. All the rocks in this section of the caves are placed, and it does look pretty fire. And in fact, this seems like a great moment to finally announce what this is all about. A U2's figure. I teamed up with U2's to bring you guys this vinyl figure based on my brand's mascot, Fury, the Phoenix. I think the design turned out absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for this to actually drop. It is going to release this December 1st for pre-order, but along the way I'll tell you more about that. So just follow this series, I guess. I'll make sure to keep you updated also on the community tab and my Instagram. So follow me. I'm honestly beyond excited. It's so freaking cool. And in the next episode of this series, I'll show you it in hand, the actual figure, because I already have it, but oh, it's so cool. Now let's continue the video. I kind of made an outline of where I want the queue to go, and as you can see, this is kind of a nice, wiggly, funky course that stretches all the way over here. It even goes over the station for Aiden, and then this is where it stopped. I'm not sure where it goes from there, but that doesn't really matter for today anyway, because we are gonna build the inside of the cave, or at least make it a bit prettier. First off, let's make these lights a little bit less prominent, kind of like this. I'm not sure what the lighting in here is gonna be yet. As you can see, without those, it is very dark, which of course is kind of the point. But to be fair, we might as well just fix the lighting now, because it needs to be done at some point. Let's try using some bluish light for this, maybe like that. And maybe one on the ceiling right here as well to kind of shine down on the floor. And it would be very cool if we can somehow make the water kind of light up as well. I think using some spotlights we could. See? That is not too bad, especially if you make it a bit brighter. There you go. Dude, that is dope! Oh, we definitely have to do more of that. Then also, there's no way I'm not gonna try experimenting with smoke emitters, because those just have to have a cool effect, don't they? Let's try and putting one back here, see what that does. Yeah, that is actually pretty sweet. Now, before adding any crystals and cool stuff, first we need to make this area look like it's actually part of a castle or part of the main building. Right now it looks kind of dull, so let's put some work into this. I think I'll just use this gate I made earlier. Let's grab it and simply put that on here. For now, I'll just give this wall a very dark stone texture like this. And this doesn't really come as a surprise, but here I'll build some really old, large, cool-looking bricks. I'll just make an entire row of these like so. This part of the building is going to be more of a dungeon-esque style. This is all kind of similar to the vampire castle I made recently, but I'm adding some variation in color. And what I can also do is just select a few random ones like so, and then grab all of those and pull them out just a little bit, or push them inward, same thing. See, that gives it a slight 3D effect. I like it. And then now some of them I'll just grab and spin a little bit, making sure the whole thing just looks a bit older. Here you go. And once again, I keep saying here you go and there you go every 5 seconds. And actually, even these wooden beams we can just reuse, because it would be nice if this whole structure inside is just kind of kept up by a bunch of wooden logs, wooden planks and that sort of stuff. I wonder how many more of these wooden crosses we're ever gonna see on this channel. I feel like this is just such a consistent theme at this point. They're almost as inescapable as rocks. Then let's see, this basically is the same thing except with windows. Let me just make the shape of the windows first, something gothic like this. And we might also want to add some of these iron bars behind those to make sure people don't eat themselves. And finally, after all that, we can delete these and there you go. That is very dark though, so let's hang up some lights. We'll just put some of these on this wooden structure here, just maybe 2. That kind of add some light there. I like it. Now, in general, I feel like this whole thing could just use some wooden elements here and there to make sure it's not just a cave, it's actually being lived in. A little bit of that right here. I do actually think I'm onto something here. This is a crystal cave, right? So what if this is some kind of crystal mine? Like they're building a bunch of stuff to just mine crystals. Yeah, let me just make some ginormous wooden structures like the one I just built up there and slowly kind of turn this into a mine, because I think that is what we should go for. The great thing about all these wooden structures is it can be kind of random. It doesn't have to be all that systematic, especially because this is a medieval theme. It can all just look very old and crooked and really just not that well taken care of. And that is my favorite kind of stuff to build, to be completely honest. What also works great, I found, is ropes. Just random ropes for no reason. Like this. Here you go. Instant detail. Why is there random ropes? Doesn't matter. What also really helps is a bunch of these platforms with wooden planks on them, because on top of those we can put some scenery, spicing it up even further. Once again, the more crooked, the better. Here you go. Oh, this is amazing. The only problem is I spent quite a large amount of time already and I only built this, so this is going to take a while. Sadly, I can't do all of this in a video on screen. It's just going to be too much, too long, too boring. But I'll see how far I can get today, and I'll show you in a sec. So I've done a pretty decent chunk of this, and let me just show you real quick. On the side here, there's a bunch of wooden things. I made sure to add some of these letters to at least make it some sort of realistic. Then on the other side, I mean, really, it's just repeated elements. There's a bunch of bridge elements here with a bunch of fences. Over here, I put a whole bunch of wooden structure. And then the main thing, of course, is all of this. I built a hole in the ceiling that allows people back then to transport large wooden crates down this mine shaft. You honestly shouldn't think too much about all of this, but it just looks nice, and that is what it's all about anyway. I mean, really, it is just more of the same. It looks pretty dope. It's definitely not finished yet. But what I want to do now first is add some crystals. That's what I've been trying to do this whole time. Let's go ahead and grab the crystal. First, I'll just put one down to see what the color is going to be like. I definitely do like blue. I'm just not sure what... Oh, I'm just not sure what color blue. Something like this is actually pretty dope, although I do want to try some other colors as well. What about green? That actually is really nice as well. You know what? We're just gonna go with green now, and if it sucks later, we'll just color it blue or something. Now all I need to do is just add a bunch of these crystals all over the place. And don't get me wrong, they aren't gonna be everywhere, just some areas. Dude, that actually looks sick. They're a bit bright though. Maybe they have to be a tad dimmer, like that. Or I mean, even in that we can add some variety. Some of them can be a lot brighter than others. We could even say the higher up they go, the dimmer they get. That actually works. Guys, I've made my mind up already. Green is sick. Look at this. I bloody love that. Let's carry on and see what this looks like if I add them all over.
6.5 hours later.
Guys, I could actually cry right now. I love this. I love it. I can't believe this is turning out so well. When I started this episode today, I was like, it's maybe a bit ambitious, but dude. For some extra fun little details, let's put a cart here, inside of which, guess what, we'll put some crystals. And I think it would be fun to spread this one all over the place here and there. The very last thing I'm gonna add today is some giant crates, which I'll kind of just put over here, I guess. And once again, inside of those, I'll put some crystals. This type of stuff really makes it look like there is work being done in this mine, which is exactly what we want. We gotta make it feel alive somehow, don't we? Then one last little thing. I'm very curious what this looks like from inside the coaster, because you go by it so fast. I'm curious what you actually can see. Okay, here we go. First time inside. Oh, that's lovely. And then later on, right here, we're coming back around. And again, into the tunnel. Oh, that is fantastic. Obviously, guys, you see it for such a short amount of time, but honestly, it's so cool. And to be fair, that's kind of the reason I put part of the queue inside here as well, so you have just a little bit more time to check it all out. Now, I right now don't know how long this video is, but this has taken forever. Pretty much an entire day, so I mean, it looks great, but for today, that is definitely enough. If you enjoyed this video, make very sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell not to miss a single future video, then I hope I'll see you in the next episode of Building Fury, the Ride.